So in case you're new to the channel, this is basically the reason why I started the channel. That's my very first four-wheeler, and I love it. It's awesome. Best toy I have ever owned, hands down. I will always have one. And I just so happen to have the Can-Am Bug. Once you own one of these, there's a good chance you won't own another bike. They are that addictive. This thing right here, it's a 2009 Outlander. It's an 800 RXT, and this is the max version. It's the True 2 Up. So let's get into this. What I've done, what I haven't done, my future plans, all this sort of stuff. If you've seen the videos, you know that I'm not too easy on this bike most times. I bought it to drive the crap out of it. That's exactly what you can do with, well, most of the Can-Ams anyways, the upper echelon Can-Ams. The cheaper ones I don't know about, because this isn't a cheaper bike. Let's start. So, I bought this bike back a year and a half ago now, and it was all stock. It's pretty much all stock even still. Tires were stock. There was none of this rad stuff, none of this other stuff going on. Pure stock bike, bought it from a hunter. A guy used it out in the bush. It had something like 3,600 kilometers on it or something like that. And picked it up for 4,000 bucks. It needed a lot of stuff because nothing had been done to it. The fluids hadn't been done. The tires were original. The belt was original. Everything was original. If you saw my other video with the air filter, holy crap. Holy shit. Check out that video if you haven't seen it, because that'll give you a good idea of the condition of this thing when I got it. So let's start. The very first thing I wanted to change were the tires. They were the stock tires on here, the stock Carlisle's, 26-inch. Did some research, wanted a good mud tire. I'm not up on the trails. Trails are dangerous. They're okay, but when you have a powerful bike, man, oh man, if you're not careful, those trees they're pretty hard. Ah! Ooh! Oh! So I wanted a good all-around mud tire that's not going to go exceptionally crazy with the lugs. I believe these are 1.5 lugs. These are the ITP Mega Mayhems. Again, my other videos, I posted a couple vids that just kind of give my take on them. They're very skittish on the trails. They're a great mud tire. I would buy them again, yes. I would get the bigger ones, though. I'd like to upgrade the 14s at some point. But these are 20, can't remember what they are, 28 9x12 on the front, 28 11x12 on the back, I believe is what they are. They're a great tire. They're a great mud tire. They get me out of a lot of situations. The problem with this bike is it's exceptionally long. The frame on it is 59 inches long. I think like your average newer Renegade, it's going to be about 54 or 55. So tires, amazing. I kept the aluminum rims because the tires were expensive enough. Like I said, maybe when these ones wear out, I will upgrade to 14 rims, and that'll give me a little bit of extra height as well. I'll keep the 28s. I don't think this thing is really built for 30s, but again, I will do some research on that. So the very first thing I did, the tires. Second thing I did, because it was running pretty good, were the snorkels. Again, I got another video out there, the homemade snorkels. This stuff I bought all from Lowe's. It took me quite a few hours to get it all sorted out, but it was like $100 Canadian for all the stuff, and you can't really complain about it. They work perfectly. I brought all my vents up here. That's very, very important. You got to get your vents, and these are also the one-way valves. You have to make sure you keep those up and out of the water. What was the next thing I did? Well, this fancy homemade rad relocate. Don't be jealous, boys. That is one homemade rad relocate. The one thing, if you see my other video, I was doing donuts in 4-wheel drive, which was the biggest bonehead move ever, and I obviously went over. Oh yeah, like that. The thing is, because I haven't finished my shroud over top of this, this took the brunt when she rolled. I was lucky that the neck didn't break, or I would have been into, well, might have been a repair, but worst case scenario, I'd be into a new rad. I do have the sheet metal to finish off the shroud. I just have not gotten around to it yet. Again, I've taken all this stuff down and through here. I've double walled this here just for safety. It's kind of connected down here inside the rack. Saying that, I can unbolt it from down here, and this whole thing will flip up if I need to access the brake booster underneath there. Next, those two things. Yes, okay, so if I hadn't spent enough money on the tires, I wanted to do possibly an exhaust because it has the stock exhaust on it, which I didn't mind. But I wanted to spend a little bit of money on one performance enhancing upgrade. You know, the Rad Relocate is great because these things overheat. This also keeps it out of the water. If you guys don't know, the fans on these things are like really dug in here. And there is not much airflow. If you look at ATV's brand new 2018 Renegade, this is all open. Great big air passageways here. It's so easy to clean, so easy to get at. This is just a pain in the butt to get in. So it was a good move to put that up there. It keeps the bike nice and cool, and now this is very, very easy to clean. So that wasn't really performance, that was needed. Snorkels were needed. The boots on the CV case were cracked, and of course water was getting in. So that's a no-brainer. If you look at some of the other videos, I think the deepest I've taken it is just over the sea. And man, those things have not leaked at all. So I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. All right, back to the exhaust. Exhaust is expensive. You're looking at $450 for the cheapest muffler, $400, something like that. Then you need a fuel management system. Saying that, you're looking at a $700 or $800 upgrade. That's crazy, and it wasn't really going to do a whole lot except for make it sound really cool. So my next option was a clutch. Researched the clutches, wound up getting a CVTech Trail Block Primary. Very easy to replace. Why mess around with springs and weights and all that crap? You call the guys up. Up here in Canada, I got it from Kimpex. You call them up, you tell them what you got, and you tell them what you're going to be doing for trails, and they say, here is your clutch. One bolt takes it off. One bolt puts it back on. It's exceptionally easy. I did a new belt to go along with it, and it made a huge difference. This thing still, that extra distance from here to here, so a Renegade would be about here, it's very difficult to pull this front end up. I have pulled it up on the pavement. No, I don't have it on video, of course not. But saying that, it all goes around with the tires I got too. Those are big lugs. They're made, they don't grab the trail all that well. Maybe this year performance upgrade, I might go with a primary or a secondary. We'll see if that changes anything. Again, there's just so much money to be spent on all this, you guys. It's crazy. What else have I done? I've replaced the air filter with just a stock air filter. There's, you know, you got to do your research. Will the stock one perform better than an aftermarket one? Well, apparently the stock one that came with the bike is the best one you can get. You spend more money on aftermarket stuff and it's not going to really give you all that much more performance. I couldn't find one that was definitively the one going to say, yeah, you're going to get like 3 or 4 more horsepower. It was way better just to go with the stock one, clean her out, put it in, and you're done. What else? So on these 800s, you have a composite valve cover, and the gaskets get hard as a rock. I've changed them out. What else have I done? All the fluids. Got a video on that. Haven't posted it. You have different measurements for the front and rear differential as well as the transmission, because the transmission is separate from the engine on this. So you've got 2 different things to worry about there. Done the fluids. I've done the brakes. Oh man, what else? Well, if I think anything, I'll be sure to post something else. But for now, boys, I'm extremely happy with this Can-Am. I've driven it pretty hard in the last year and has not failed me on the trail except for the one time. When Job had to pull me back because I blew a belt on the trail. Saying that, if you watch the vid, Can-Am blows a damn belt, you'll see exactly when I did it. And It's not always good to hit the deep holes in high gear. Not at all. That's pretty much what toasted it for that. So other than that, I have not had any issues with these. Saying that, maybe this is the year I'm going to have issues with the diff. Who knows? Maybe it won't. As far as the upcoming year, I want to get a 2-inch lift. It would be nice to get this up a little bit. And, oh, that's another thing, guys. Don't forget, on these Outlanders, the 9s that I put in the front for the wheels, the inner or the outer tie rod was extremely close to the inside of the tire, the inner sidewall of the tire. So I've got 1-inch Quad Boss wheel spacers on these. So get this. This is how it works. You want some height out of this, so you buy a set of 28s. That gives you your height. Then you find out there is 1/8 of an inch between the inner sidewall of your tire and the outer tie rod. That's not good. So you buy a 1-inch wheel spacer, that brings it out. But the problem is the height that you gained here from the tires, you lose when you go out with the 1-inch wheel spacers. So it dropped me down. I don't think it was 1 full inch, but it definitely was you know, a good 3/4 of an inch that it dropped me down. So what I gained on the tires, I definitely lost a little bit by putting the wheel spacers on. It's never ending with these things. Saying all of that, I do want to put a 2-inch lift on this, get it up a little bit. 2 inches not too much, it's just perfect. And I'd be coming to like the end of all the major things that I really want to do. The exhaust, if I find a used one that's working and it's compatible, somebody else is upgrading for this bike and I get it for like 300 bucks, the entire thing, I'll probably go for it. But saying that, this stock exhaust sounds actually pretty good. I like it. No complaints with it whatsoever. So sometimes you got to bridge that gap with, you know, do I need to spend the money? Well, I needed tires. Yes. I needed the wheel spacers. Yes. I needed to get this up. No money spent on this except for a few bucks. I needed to get that up. Yes. I needed the snorkels because I wanted to go in deeper water. Yes. I needed the clutch? No. I didn't need the clutch. That was my one upgrade that I was allowing myself with this, because this 800 has tons of power. Tons. Not as much as the 1000, but it's pretty negligible, close. Gearing is different in the 1000s as well. There's lots of comparisons between the two bikes. I need to get my winch off and spool it all the way out, well past there, and rewind it. Clean it up. It was not performing. Again, I've got another video there that says, I think it was, the title is winch stopped working or something. And it did. It left me in the middle of a mud hole. As if it stopped working, thing. Pissed me off. You piece of shit. It did start working again, but these things get old. You know, they have to be cleaned, and if they're not working, if you're in the mud all the time on the trails, you got to upgrade it or fix it, one or the other. I think that is it. Now, what I'm going to do is we are coming back, because here I talk about upgrades. I am putting heavy duty tie rod assemblies on this thing, because if you guys saw ATV's video or my video of the Johnstown ride this year, you will see that he just about took a header off his King Quad when one of his, I think it was the inner tie rod, come right out of the socket. The ball just dropped right out of it, and it caused his left front tire, actually when he was going around a right berm, his left front tire dug into the right, and he just about lost it. If he was going a little bit faster, it might have spelled disaster for him, but he got lucky. He kept it under control. So I don't want that to happen to this. Mine are a little bit worn. Again, they're still original from 2009. I think it's time to upgrade. I'm gonna have the old one out and the new one's in, and we'll give a little bit of comparison in case you guys are looking to upgrade and maybe it's something that you want.